Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to TravelJoy 101, an introductory look at the TravelJoy platform. My name is Caitlin, and I'll be your host today. I am joined in the audience by fellow Joy makers Lenore and Cody, who will be helping to monitor the chat and answer questions in the Questions tab. Now, if you are new to the TravelJoy platform, I'd love to tell you a little bit about who we are. We are TravelJoy, the all-in-one platform for travel advisors. With our platform, you can manage clients, create itineraries, and handle payments all in one place. From our full CRM to our itinerary builder, you get access to tools that help you save time, look professional, stay organized, and simplify payments. So let's explore how TravelJoy can add value to your daily routine. At TravelJoy, you get a centralized digital workspace to run your business smoothly and efficiently. Stay organized and stress-free with our CRM. Securely store client details, effortlessly connect with travelers, and manage tasks with ease all in one place. Want to create beautiful professional proposals and itineraries that will impress your clients? Our itinerary proposal builder helps you craft memorable experiences that leave a lasting impression. Get paid with ease. TravelJoy's invoicing tools let you securely collect credit card authorizations and process payments seamlessly. Next, you can save hours by letting TravelJoy handle the busy work by automating routine emails, forms, and follow-ups. Plus, you can harness the power of AI to create complete itineraries and proposals in under 60 seconds. That dramatically cuts down your workload. And finally, we've got you covered with simplifying group trips. Save time and stay organized with our groups feature. Create streamlined booking pages and manage group trips from one convenient tab. In today's webinar, we'll explore a few of these features in more detail, showing you how TravelJoy can help you streamline your workflow. Now, we have a jam-packed webinar for you today. I'm going to walk you through how to set up your account and then how to build a trip and smart proposal together. Then we'll take you through building your first group and a group booking page, as well as how your clients can authorize and make payments. We'll also go through our help center and the many resources we've created to help support you as you learn to use TravelJoy. Now, near the end of today's session, I will be providing you with a promo code for 50% off your first 2 months of a pro monthly membership, so please stay tuned. If you do need to leave a little bit early, that promo code section will be on the recording email to you after the webinar ends. And just a note, this webinar will move quickly. Please note that you will receive a recording of this session by email after its conclusion. You'll be able to pause, rewind, and rewatch the recording to really take in what we go over today. And we welcome your questions, and our team is here in the audience to help answer those for you. You can submit your questions in the Questions tab, which is just below the chat box, that little circle with the question mark in it. Questions asked in the chat box won't be able to be answered today, so make sure you get those questions in the Questions tab so we can get you a response. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into TravelJoy. So I'm going to switch my tabs here and welcome everyone. I'm seeing everyone joining in. So glad to have you here today. Thank you for spending your first September Wednesday afternoon with us. Can't believe it's already come to September. Crazy. All right, so we are looking at our TravelJoy dashboard. This is your home base. So the first thing I want to point out is the best way to set up your account, and that's by using the profile setup checklist. You can find this checklist at the top right of your dashboard. And this icon may say 40% for you. It may say 80%. If you click on it, it's going to open that profile setup checklist. So these are all the main points you want to cover when setting up your account. We start with your free trial, that free 7 days. Then you can set up your brand. This includes uploading your logo, adding agency information, see the client experience. So this is great for seeing what your client sees when they open a proposal or a form from you. Import your clients to your contact list on TravelJoy. And most importantly, get paid when using direct payments through TravelJoy. Now, this is just a guideline of sorts, so if you don't want to see this checklist moving forward or you're not going to complete all the steps, that's quite all right. You can choose the Hide Profile Setup Checklist, and it'll remove that icon from your dashboard. Now, let's get into the fun stuff. We're going to create our very first trip on TravelJoy. Obviously not my very first trip on this account, but my very first trip with you. So we're going to head up to the blue New button for this process, up at the top left. And we're going to select Trip from the options that appear. Now, I want you to think of a trip as a file folder. Everything from start to finish for that particular trip, for that particular client or group of people traveling together. This is going to be a file folder that contains all of the information you need to know about that trip. So any form responses you've received, any invoices you've created, that can all live within that file folder. Now, if you happen to know your client's name and they're in your contact list, you can go ahead and select them from this drop-down menu here. Or if they're a new client, you can use the Create New link to create a new client profile card for them. I happen to know my traveler is Jane Doe, so I'm going to select her from this list here, my contact list. And I don't know where Jane is headed. She's just reached out to me and said she's interested in booking something. So this is where I'll start. I don't have to have a lot of information. All I need is that first name, last name, and email. I'm going to use the blue Create Trip button, and a trip will be created. So we're looking at the trip message feed. This is where all of the communication is going to live between you and your client for this trip. Anything that you send back and forth will show on this tab. So from here, we're likely going to want to gather a few more details from Jane about the trip that she's interested in. I'm going to do so by sending her a form through TravelJoy. You can send a form by using the blue Create button at the top right here and selecting Form from the options that appear. It's the second one. Forms are completely customizable on TravelJoy, and you can find your form templates underneath the Templates tab on your dashboard. Now, Jane will be the only traveler on this trip, but I could add additional travelers here if I needed to. And if they are on the trip already, you can choose which ones you'd like to send this form to. So since Jane is the single traveler, she's the only one listed here. We're going to leave her as is. We'll select the form that we want to send to Jane using this drop-down menu here. I'm going to keep it at client inquiry because it's going to gather the basic information that I need, but you can select any of your form templates that may apply. And you can even send a confirmation email. So if you want an email to be triggered right when your client submits their form, you can select an email template using this drop-down menu here, and that email will send as soon as they hit that submit button. Once you're happy with your choices, head on up to that blue Next button at the top right, and you can fill out this form on your client's behalf, or you can review the email and send this form to them. Now, if you click on Review Email, you can change the subject if you'd like, or change the message body. This is actually an email template, and you can select different email templates down here at the bottom of the screen. You can also update all of your email templates underneath that same Templates tab on your dashboard. You can scroll on through and make sure your signature looks nice and tidy, also customizable underneath your signatures template. And you can even add attachments in the bottom left-hand corner of the email if you'd like. We also have a newer feature that was released a couple weeks ago, where if the form is submitted and it's not submitted within a certain time frame, you can go ahead and choose a date ahead of time. So in this case, we have 7 days ahead. If they are not ahead, apologies, I'm making that a little bit confusing. If the form isn't submitted within 7 days, there we go. We can send another email template to our client as a reminder to get them to fill out that form. Apologies, that was a little bit of a roundabout way of explaining that. You can even choose the time that you would like to send this message at on that date. And then when you're happy with your message, you can use that blue send button and away it'll go. All right, we're taken right back to our trip message feed. And we can see that message that we just sent to Jane is there. So what does this look like on Jane's end? I have to have access to her email inbox, so I'm going to head up to there now. I'm going to refresh the page, and we should see that form is waiting for a response for her. When she clicks on that email, she's going to be prompted to view the trip form. And this is what that form will look like to your client. So we're going to fill out this form as if we are Jane, but we're not going to fill it out in its entirety. There's just a few too many questions, and we're short on time today. So we'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Jane would like to go to Palm Springs, California. She'd like to go next month when the weather starts cooling down. So we'll say the 24th through the 26th of October. Her departure city is Salt Lake City, Utah. Just one traveler today. And then she has travel preferences below. Once she's done with her form, she's going to submit that form. This thank you message will appear, which is completely customizable underneath your confirmations templates. And she can even add a traveler down here at the bottom if she'd like. All right, so if we head back to our TravelJoy account and see things from our perspective, if we refresh the screen, we're going to see a new message in here containing the responses to that form, as well as a link to that form. And you can always find that form underneath your Trip Files tab. And there we have it. Now, one cool feature about this inquiry form is because Jane gave us a destination and her start date and end date for her trip, those details were automatically updated up here at the top right of the trip. So that saves us a little bit of time. Now, because Palm Springs isn't known for its vast oceans, the Salton Sea does not count, we're going to use that three-dot menu just to the left of the blue Create button to edit the trip and update those details to be a little bit more fitting for the trip itself. We'll choose a new photo, and we can search our database for any photos that might be relevant to this location, or upload our own using the Upload tab. Now, I do use this example every single week, so I've got a few favorite photos that I usually use for Palm Springs that I've searched and found in the past. So I'm going to use one of these for now. But again, you can use this search box with keywords for your destination to find other photos to feature if you'd like. We'll change the name of Jane's trip just by heading down to this field here. And any other details about the trip that we'd like to add, like confirmation numbers, add additional travelers, change the trip start date or end date for any reason, that can all be done from this screen as well. Use that blue Save button, and those trip details will automatically update. So Jane's trip name has been updated and that photo as well. All right, so we've got our location where we're going. We're likely going to build a proposal next. Now we have several options here at TravelJoy. We have the ability to create an itinerary or what we call a smart proposal. So these are all options that are creatable within TravelJoy. Now they're the same builder, but the smart proposal has a few more bells and whistles. First and foremost being that your client can approve this proposal before moving forward, where an itinerary is just a straightforward, this is what we're doing kind of thing. We also have a few other tools that I'll highlight as we go through the proposal building process. So to create your first proposal, you're going to head to that blue Create button once more, just like we did when we sent our form, and select Smart Proposal from the options that appear. It's the very last one. All right. So this is our Smart Proposal Builder. Most everything is edited on the right-hand side, and then you can arrange things on the left, but there are a lot of tools to go over. So looking at this right-hand side right now, we're looking at our proposal settings. You can always get back to this tab if you need to by using this settings button here. You can give your proposal a title. You can do a proposal intro if you'd like to do a little blurb to get them excited about the trip. You can change your signature type. So if you want a different font here, you can use this drop-down menu to change that font. You can change the cover photo if you'd like it to differ from that trip photo. You can choose the confirmation page or that thank you message that will appear when your client approves the proposal. And you can choose to even have a confirmation email sent after they approve the proposal. So again, another email that can be triggered once your client completes that step. We also have our pricing tab up at the top here. This will allow you to display pricing to your client or even collect credit card authorizations or direct payments through this smart proposal. You can add a total price and deposit at the top if you just want to go ahead and go straight forward and show that. For supplier invoices, which we're going to go over just briefly, and when you have your payments turned off, you can change the currency that your smart proposal is displayed in. This isn't available right now for direct payments collected through smart proposals, but you do have those two options if you're collecting a credit card authorization or just displaying pricing. You can choose to set the price as a fixed total or a sum of items on your end. You can choose what the client sees, whether or not that's one package price or itemized pricing. And when your client approves the proposal and it's turned into an itinerary, you can choose to hide the pricing or show the pricing to your client. Now, if you just want to display pricing to your client, you leave payments off. If you wanted to collect a credit card authorization through this smart proposal, you could select this Accept Supplier Payment button. And if you wanted to accept a direct payment, which means we are charging our client's credit card right then and there, and those funds are flowing through TravelJoy into a trip funds balance, which we'll talk about a little bit later, you can select that option here. Now, on the left-hand side, you've got some major tools that will help you save some time. So we've got our Magic Importer tool. Now, this will allow you to bring in documents for flights, hotels, cruises, and activities from your suppliers, such as invoices or itineraries. And it's going to try to match them in our database. And if it's able to match them in our database, it can bring those items in for you, including descriptions, or for cruises, things like deck plans and port information, or even hotel information, descriptions, and photos. So lots of ways that you can use the Magic Importer tool to really streamline that workflow. We also have bookable items available for you. So this means that your clients can book these items directly through TravelJoy and earn you a commission. You can offer hotel bookings, activities, and transfers. For hotels, you have the ability to collect a 12% commission. Activities will earn you an 8% commission, and transfers will earn you an 8% commission as well. So keeping everything all in one place on this proposal is the name of the game. So if you'd like to go ahead and add some additional excursions or transfer options, you're welcome to use this tool and earn a commission at the same time. Options are going to be choices. So if your client needs to choose between, say, 2 hotels or 2 entirely different itineraries, that's possible on TravelJoy. You can use the Add Options button. You'll see an options section appear, which is this blue section here. And the options that are listed in here will be the choices your client chooses. Now, it doesn't have to be they have to choose one or the other. It can be. But if you'd like them to choose multiple options, you can use this setting over here on the right-hand side, or change it to one option if you need them to choose just one of those things. You can add items to each option using this little plus sign. And there are all of our activities, cruises, flights. You can add all of these details in. Now, since we're looking at this, I do want to point out that cruises and hotels can be searched for in TravelJoy and bring in a ton of information for you. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about those capabilities, I do have a couple of guides from our Help Center that I am going to post in the chat for you to review. You also have the ability to offer live flight tracking. So if you'd like to add a flight in here, you can turn on live flight tracking and your clients will be able to see updates about that flight. Now we're keeping things nice and simple today, building a very straightforward smart proposal with just a few items. Now, because I already have trip start dates and end dates in place, I can easily build out sections using this tool down here at the very bottom, Add Sections for Trip Dates. That's if I want to break up my smart proposal by date. If you want to break up your smart proposal using sections for any other reason, like categories or general items, you absolutely can use sections to do so. It's totally up to you. Again, going to keep things nice and simple and just use sections as dates. If I use this add section for trip dates, it's going to add all of my travel dates here. We're good to go. But if you need to edit what these state, just click on the section and you can edit them over here on the right-hand side. Now we can add items to the smart proposal in one of 2 ways. We have this add item button up here, gives us that same option menu. And if you add any items from this button, it's going to add them to the very bottom of the smart proposal. You can also add items to your sections using the blue plus sign on that section line. I'm going to be choosing activity because we are sending Jane to the farmer's market. And she's going to be in downtown Palm Springs. So each of these items, like I have activity selected, but we have things like car rental, that kind of thing. Each of them is going to have their own fields. So they're going to have different information that they're collecting. Let's finish this thought here. There we go. You can say the time is going to be 8 o'clock a.m. We can select that using that drop-down menu. Duration will be about 2 hours, and so on and so forth. If we scroll down, we can add an item description. Again, a little bit of a blurb to get them excited. We'll say something like fun shopping with local vendors. And a couple exclamation points so she knows it's fun, but yours will likely be a little bit longer than that. And we can even add YouTube videos to these descriptions if we want to add a little spice to it. So you have that add YouTube video link here, and you can go ahead and add in a YouTube URL to share that video through your smart proposal. If we were displaying pricing for this item, we would add that price here. Photos, we do recommend 3 or more for the best look. I'm going to be selecting these photos from my own device, so you won't see the selection process on your end, just because our live streaming platform is not set up for that. But these photos are saved to my device, and I was able to select them, which is why they're popping up now. And if you have any documents like, say, PDF tickets or anything that you would like to include from the supplier, that's a PDF to your clients. They'll be able to view those documents on the go. You can use this documents field to upload those PDFs, and your clients will be able to view them. Now, let's say we send our clients to the Palm Springs Farmers Market quite often, and we don't want to have to create this every single time we send one of our clients to Palm Springs. There is a solution for that, and that is our library tool. You've probably noticed this little library button over here on the right-hand side. This library is accessible across your account in every itinerary and smart proposal. If you want to add an item to your library after you've created that item, you can head on up to this little three-dot menu just to the right and choose to add to library. I'm also going to point out this is a brand new feature as well that was just released on Friday, which is super exciting. You can now change your item type. So if you have started creating this item and you're like, wait, this would be better suited for this type, you have the ability to do so now. So you're getting a sneak peek into a brand new feature that was just released. But going back to our library, I'm going to add to our library using that button. Just take a quick sip of water. Got too excited. Once it's added to the library, you'll see that little success message there. And if we refresh the screen and click on that library button, we'll now see all of the items that I've added to my library previously, as well as that farmer's market item. So this is a great way of building out those very common vacations that you tend to book. Like if you do specialize in certain areas and you know that you're going to be building similar content every time, use the library to save not only items, but save sections as well. As you can see, if we click in the section, we have that same option to add to the library. And by default, all of your proposals and all of your itineraries will be added to your library automatically, and you can search them and create duplicates of them very easily. You'll see that in our next section. Whoop, didn't want to expand that. There we go. Let's go ahead and minimize that. Perfect. All right, so heading back to our library, I'm going to build out the rest of the smart proposal using the items I already have in here. So we have our hotel. I'm just going to grab it, drag it, drop it. Our golf day, grab it, drag it. It'll be after our farmer's market items. So let's go ahead and put it here and just move it down one. There we go. Dinner at Tropical will be our Friday night activity. So we'll go ahead and move it there. And again, I'm just dragging and dropping these where I want them to go. And our car to the airport will add at the very bottom of the screen. And just like that, I have a fully created smart proposal. It is small and short, but it is mighty, and it'll give you an idea of what you can do with smart proposals. So let's send this off to Jane, get her approval on it, and then move forward with our process. So to share this proposal, you're going to use the Share Proposal button at the top right and select the option to send. Just like we saw with our form, we're going to be able to customize the email message however we need to. We do have those reminders available for proposals as well. And then you can select a different email template if you'd like to say something different here, or you have a different save template you'd like to use. Use that blue send button at the bottom, and away it goes. We're taken right back to our trip message feed, where we can see that message has been sent. And if we switch into Jane's email inbox and act as Jane once more, she's going to see that link to her proposal in her email. She'll be prompted to view that trip proposal. And here it is. So at the top right, she's got a few options. She can view this proposal and take it with her on the go using our Itineraries by TravelJoy app. She can share the proposal, download the proposal, ask a question, which is going to take her right back to our trip message feed with you, and finally approve the proposal, but we are not there yet. Let's take a look at the proposal itself. So scrolling down, we have that title card here. This is a clickable overview, so your client can click on any of these items and be taken right to that portion of the smart proposal. So great for longer proposals or itineraries. And here's all of our items. There's our farmer's market, golf day, and car to the airport. So Jane says, you know what? This looks great. I want to book it. She heads up to that blue approve proposal button, clicks it, and a thank you message will appear. Again, completely customizable underneath your confirmations templates. Now, if we head back to our TravelJoy account and refresh the page in any way, you're going to get an email notification that this occurred, but you'll also see these blue congratulatory banners letting you know that the proposal has been approved. Now, because this proposal was approved, it has now turned into an itinerary. You can find that itinerary over here on the right-hand side, or you can always find it underneath your Trip Files tab. Either way will get you to the editing screen for the itinerary if you need to make any changes. And that is creating your very first trip, sending a form, updating trip details, and creating a proposal and having it approved. Awesome. All right, so we're through the first third of our webinar. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're all still with me, still excited. We're going to be switching gears a little bit and talking about groups now. And we're going to head to our dashboard for that portion. All right, now remember when I told you to think of trips as a file folder? I want you to think of groups as a filing cabinet. So if you have multiple trips going to the same location or the same place, think cruises, family reunions, weddings, you likely have a group on your hands. So to create a group, we're going to use the same process we did to create a trip. We're going to use that blue new button up here at the top left, and we'll select instead group this time. Now, typically we know where groups are headed. So this group is heading to Fiji. We're going to choose a different photo to match Fiji's vibe. So let's go ahead and put in Fiji Island, just to see if we can get a cute little island photo. And I think we've got one right here that I would like to use. Now we typically know our start dates and end dates. So let's go ahead and say they're going in January for a few days. And we can put Fiji here. We'll create this group, and it's going to look very similar to the trip message feed. But the difference is this group does not have any trips connected to it. It is an empty filing cabinet. So how do we add a trip? One of the most basic ways to add a trip to a group is by using this little plus sign up here at the top. If you click on that plus sign, our trip creation pop-up is going to pop onto your screen. And this is going to be the same process of creating a trip. So I'm going to send Jane on this trip as well. She's got a busy 2025, 2026. And that's all we have to do. Once we select our client or create a new client, we can create the trip within the group. A drop-down menu will appear to allow us to navigate between the trips on the group. Now from here, I'm probably going to need to send a form to gather details. I'm going to need to create an invoice to gather either a credit card authorization or payment for their deposit or full cost of the trip or even a monthly payment. And I'm also probably going to have to create a proposal or an itinerary. But if you are dealing from anywhere from 5 people to 200 plus, you're likely going to want a better system so that you're not having to do all these things manually. One of the best ways to accomplish this is a group booking page. Now, a group booking page is a standalone web page with a unique URL that you can share with your clients. They'll be able to visit that page, view a beautifully crafted itinerary, book any packages or select packages that they would like to book, rather, fill out any form that you need them to fill out, and complete their deposit or full payment for either a, I guess it's just a deposit or full payment or other options, actually. I just remembered we just released other options, so we'll see that really, really soon. So lots of fun things to see today. To create a group booking page, you're going to start on the All Travelers tab and head to that blue Create button. And for this, we're going to be selecting group booking page supplier. Now, supplier in parentheses just means that we are collecting a credit card authorization only. When I click on that, I'm brought to our group booking page editing screen. We can give our group booking page a name. So let's say to Fiji we go. Now I'm going to be connecting a group itinerary to this group booking page to create a very sleek and professional experience. Now I don't have a group itinerary already crafted within this group. So if I click on this button, it's going to have me create and connect a group itinerary. So before this webinar, I went ahead and created this itinerary and saved it to my library automatically. So if I use this edit itinerary button, it's going to open a blank group itinerary. However, I can use that library button to search for this. And it should pop up here in a moment. There we go, Fiji Adventure. And we can import this entire itinerary in. Now, you usually would be building this from scratch, or if this is a itinerary you've used in the past and you want to continue using it, you can go ahead and just create a duplicate like I did. But this was just to save us a little bit of time and show you how the library feature works for importing full itineraries. I'm going to change this title to get the copy out. And now that I have our itinerary all built and ready to go, I can return back to the editing screen to finish out the process of building the group booking page. I'm going to use this drop down for view up here at the top in this yellow banner and select to Fiji we go, which is our group booking page. So we can head on back. And now our itinerary is connected. You'll see what that looks like in just a few minutes. Next, we're going to move into our pricing tab. And this is where we're going to build out our packages, offer extra options to our clients. Minimum and maximum travelers just refers to the amount of folks that can book a single room or cabin. It does not refer to the amount of folks that can book your group as a whole. Booking options, we have 3 here at TravelJoy. The first is travelers share the same date, so everyone is arriving on the same date and departing on the same date. The second option is travelers can book between 2 dates. So again, great examples are weddings, family reunions, where one party may be getting in on Thursday and leaving on Sunday, or another party may be getting in on Friday and leaving on Tuesday. You can select the date range, the minimum night stay, and the maximum night stay. The third option is travelers can book specific dates I set, and you can offer multiple date ranges for them to choose from. All right, packages are going to be your rooms and cabins typically. If we use the Add Package button, we can go ahead and connect an item from our itinerary that we built. So again, I pre-built that itinerary. I already have a hotel item available and ready to go for this package. So I'm going to use the drop-down menu to locate it from the itinerary. These are all items on that itinerary. It's at King Suites. We'll give it a title here. If you need to keep track of your inventory for this particular package, you can go ahead and do so using that quantity limited checkbox and put in the amount that you'd like to keep track of. Our available until date is how long our clients have to book. So since we're leaving in January, let's say December 1st is the cutoff. Pricing is going to be per person, and we do offer up to quadruple occupancy. So let's go ahead and say something like it is $3,000 for single occupancy. If we add another occupancy, we'll see that double appear. You can say it's $2,500, double occupancy, and so on and so forth. We can add a child rate if we need to, and a deposit is going to be mandatory in order to use the group booking page. So we can put in a deposit of $450, and you can make that per person or per room. Our final payment due dates. This is going to be very important for that invoice. It has to fall after that available until date. So we'll say their final payment due date is January 1st. We'll use that blue save button, and there is our package. So it's all set. All the description is going to come from the itinerary that I created itself. And if we needed to add multiple packages, if we had more to choose from for the clients, we could add additional packages. We're just doing one for today's demonstration for the sake of time. Extra options are going to be add-ons, anything that you would like to offer your clients apart from their packages. So excursions, things like that. We can add an item for an excursion. I'm going to go ahead and say sailing adventure. I do have an item on my itinerary that I can bring in. The price for this is $75. We can say the deposit amount is $25. Again, we can keep track of our inventory if we'd like to, and choose an available until date. This does not have to match your package available until date, but just to keep things nice and simple, I'm going to keep it the same. Use that blue save button, and there's our extra option. And again, you can offer multiple extra options. Just for the sake of time, we're just doing one today. Now down here at the bottom is our payment details. Payment method refers to whether or not we're collecting credit card authorizations or direct payments through our clients. So we are collecting supplier, which means credit card authorization. This newer feature that I had mentioned previously, so you now have the ability to offer a deposit and final payment option when they come to their checkout page, or you can offer them monthly payments or a custom payment schedule. So this is really exciting. Before, it used to just be deposit or final payment. They had to choose. Now you have a few more options here. Confirmation page will be the thank you message that appears when your client completes their booking. Terms and conditions, very, very important. These come from your terms and conditions templates, so make sure that they are updated for your terms and conditions. And then on all group booking pages, invoices, and even supplier smart proposal payments, you can offer FAY travel insurance. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about FAY, I've got a great guide in the chat for you to check out. Alrighty, last tab, if we scroll up, is going to be our traveler info tab over here. And we're going to choose the forms that our clients are going to be filling out. So the primary traveler's information, you can go ahead and select a form. If they indicate that they're traveling with more than one person and you don't need the same information as you do for your primary traveler, you can select a different form here or leave them both the same, completely up to you. Task list we don't go over in TravelJoy 101 because it is a more advanced feature, but I will be showing you our help center in just a bit and show you how to search for that feature and learn a little bit of something new. We'll head to that blue publish button at the top right-hand corner of the screen, and a unique URL that we can now share with our clients to this page is available for us here. If I click on this link, it's going to take us to the published page, which we have here. And this is what your client is going to see. So we have this beautiful itinerary experience. We have multiple areas for them to choose to start the booking process. The very first one is up here at the top where they can book a package and go right from here. Or they can scroll through the itinerary and see what's on the menu. So we've got our King Suite here that they can go ahead and use that Book Now button to start the process of completing. That Full Sailing Daily Adventure has a Book Now button. Our beach day. So beautiful, beautiful experience for your clients. And once they get down to the very bottom, they also have the option to start that booking process down here too. If they click the Book Now button, it'll take them to the next page where they can select the number of travelers that they have. And based on the package selected, that pricing will update accordingly. If I select 2, you'll see that double occupancy price. I'm going to leave it at 1 just so you don't have to watch me fill out multiple forms. We'll also add on that sailing adventure that's available on this page here. And then once they're happy with their selections, they can see their pricing here. They can continue to traveler info. They can put in their first name. I'm going to send myself on this trip because why not? Sounds great. And again, just for the sake of time, I won't be filling out the entirety of this form, but as I start to type form, there we go. You can see what's possible with this group registration form. And again, it's completely customizable. If we use the continue to payment button, this is the last screen they'll see. They'll be able to choose whether or not to authorize that deposit or the full amount based on that decision I made on the payment settings. They'll add in their credit card, which just so happens to be the most exciting part of the webinar, where you get to watch me put in a fake credit card. But you do get to see this beautiful graphic that we've created that will do a fun trick here in just a few moments. There it goes. Knows how to turn around on command. Pretty cool. We'll put in our phone number. Very fake credit card, but this does work for demonstration. So I'm going to use the save credit card button. There we go. And then we're going to sign and agree to our terms and conditions. And again, those terms and conditions, super important. As you can see, mine are not all encompassing. So you'll want to get those updated to your own. We'll use that sign button. There's our electronic signature. And then we'll authorize and book. That thank you message will pop up. And if we head back up to our homepage and head back to our group, which we're at right now, I'm going to get rid of just a few of these tabs. We should see my name on this drop-down menu now. And so what this has done is it has taken all of that information and wrapped it in a neat little bow and added it to your group automatically. If you scroll on down on my trip here, you're going to see links to the group booking page registration form, the invoice, the signed authorization, and payment info, which, fun fact, lives in your client's profile card underneath the payment info tab. So once you get here, you'll be able to show the credit card details and use those credit card details to pay your supplier and book out this client's trip. Alrighty. So now that you've seen the group booking page in action and you kind of have an idea of how groups can be used to organize your trips, let's go ahead and switch gears once more and talk a little bit more about payments. Now, you can accept payments by invoices here at TravelJoy or by form, and we're going to be focusing on invoices for this next section. I'm going to head to our dashboard, and I'm going to take a quick sip of water just to keep hydrated. Alrighty. And we're going to be heading back to Jane's desert trip for this next part. Now, because Jane didn't book through a group booking page, that invoice needs to be manually created. So in order to do so, I'm going to use that blue create button. And for this first example, I'm going to be using invoice supplier, but don't worry, we'll talk about direct payments next. If I click on this option, I see our invoice builder. It's broken up into 3 sections. We have our line items at the top, our payment schedule in the middle, and our settings at the bottom. Line items can all be multiple things or just one thing per invoice, completely up to you. I'm going to be putting hotel and airfare on this one. So I'm going to type in the item, type in the description if I so choose, add a price, and save it into place just by clicking out of it. That line will save there. If I need to edit, just click back into it. I can add another item, add in that price, click out of it, and it'll save. Now, if you want to show these items as a package, you absolutely can. We have the show as package checkbox here. That package will be displayed, and those individual pricings will be hidden. So they'll still see the items themselves, but they won't see the price. Now, if we scroll on down to our payment schedule, we have 2 main options: pay in full, where you choose a date that your client will complete their payment in full, or deposit and final payment, which will allow you to select the deposit amount, the deposit due date, and the final payment due date. But this is not where the customization ends for the payment schedule. You'll notice there's an edit button near each of these options, and if you click on it, it'll open that payment schedule up further for more customization. So it's going to automatically create one single payment if you're using that pay in full option. But you can add additional payments if you need to break things up however you need to for your client using this add payment button. You can change the due date, the payment description. Let's just go ahead and say payment number 2 and add an amount. So if you start to type in an amount, you'll notice that we have that $1,000 in red over here. So this is because this is keeping track of your balance in the payment schedule. So if your payments do not add up to this $1,000, this will let you know. So this is keeping track of that for you. So if we want to change that, we can just go into the original payment. One too many backspaces. Put in 500 and boom, everything is evened out. We'll change the due date even. There we go. And save it. And that would be how you would go in and add additional payments if you needed to break things up customizably for your clients. I don't even know if that's a word, customizably. We've got our payment settings down here at the very bottom. Payment method is supplier, again, meaning we are only collecting a credit card authorization. Our currency can be changed on supplier invoices only. We can give our invoice a name. We can choose which client we want this invoice to be associated with on the trip. So if there are multiple travelers on this trip, we can select which one we want this invoice associated to. Great example of this is if they'd like to pay for separate invoices. Confirmation page will be that thank you message that appears after they complete their authorization. You can choose to send an email after they complete that authorization as well. Choose your terms and conditions, and of course, offer pay travel insurance right then and there. Once we're done editing this invoice, we'll use that blue next button and choose to save and review the email. So that way we can customize that email further. So same process we've seen before. Change anything within the email body, use a different email template, and send it off to your client. Away it goes. We're taken right back to our trip message feed. We see our message with that invoice there. If we head into Jane's email inbox, she should have received that invoice email. She'll be prompted to open the invoice. And here's what it looks like. So a few trip details at the very top, those line items in the middle there. If your client had already made a payment towards this amount, you would see that credit there. And they can see easily what's due today. They can select how much they'd like to authorize today. And because I'm a returning customer to this TravelJoy platform, it's going to recognize me, and it is going to offer me the ability to use a card that I've used in the past, which apparently has been that 4242 card every single time. So if your client is returning, this makes things nice and simple, or they can add a new credit card down here. I'm going to go ahead and use one of my previously used credit cards. Add in my CVV code. Enter it, and then head down to sign and agree to terms and conditions. Now, I can sign and agree using that electronic signature, or if I'm feeling brave, I can even draw it. I haven't done this in a while, so Lenore, Cody, if you would, give me a score out of 10 on my signature. I think it's better than the DMV, so it's going to be for Jane. Oh, we're off to a really good start. Wow. I think I need to blow on my mouse a little bit and get some dust off. 12 out of 10. Thank you, Lenore. We'll sign that signature, will go into place. And then if the heart does it, that's great. I love it. If your client scrolls down a little bit further, they'll see their upcoming payment schedule and see what's on the docket for their next payment. Definitely a 10. Thank you, Cody. I understand the fairness. That makes sense to me. All right, once your client has added in all these details, they'll authorize the payment here or at the top right. They'll get that thank you message. And if you head back to your TravelJoy account, you'll receive an email message letting you know that this has been completed and this has been authorized. If you refresh the page, you'll also see a message in the trip message feed. It'll have a link to that invoice, their signed authorization, and again, their payment info, which lives in their client profile card. Now, let's say that you have, and it looks like I have a little bit of a ghost with me down here at the very bottom of the screen. I'm not sure what that is about. But once you get these credit cards and you're able to pay your supplier, you actually can come on back to that invoice, which you can find again here or in your trip files tab. Head down to that payment schedule, and you'll see that this has been authorized. So this amount has already been authorized. We see this very clearly in the payment schedule. We can mark it as paid using the little money bag icon here. And this will give your clients an indication that a charge has gone through on their card. So you've used it to pay their supplier. You can choose the paid date, and you can even send them a receipt. Once you mark it as paid, your records and your client's records will be updated accordingly. So that status will turn to paid. Awesome. Let's talk about our second invoicing option, which is direct payments. Now, if you do not have the ability to create a direct invoice using that blue create button, you likely need to turn on your direct payments. To do so, you can head to the settings tab, direct payments, and complete the process until you get this enabled sign. So you're going to be connecting your bank account to TravelJoy. Now, as a reminder, direct payments are where we charge your client's credit card right then and there. A processing fee is applied, and then that amount is going to flow into your trip funds or group funds if it's a group, which you can think of as a mini bank account. So from there, you can create a virtual credit card if you need to pay your suppliers. You can wire your suppliers, or you can withdraw your markup to your bank account. So once this direct payment status is enabled, you can head back to your trip, use that blue create button, and create an invoice direct. A little warning is going to pop up. We always like to make sure you're aware that you're creating a direct invoice. We'll use the yes, I'm sure to start the invoice creation process for this. Now, these first two sections are exactly the same, so I'm going to breeze through them pretty quickly. Just going to create one item for hotel, leave it at pay in full, but our settings do look a little different. So payment method is direct, meaning we are charging our client's credit card right then and there. We're funding to that trip funds balance or a mini bank account associated to that trip or group. Give our invoice a name. We can choose to accept payments by credit card or bank transfer. So very important thing to know here is when using our trip funds feature, credit card payments are going to be available to use instantly. So you will be able to create a virtual credit card or wire your supplier using those funds right then and there, or you can start the process of withdrawing your markup to your bank account. Bank transfers can take a little bit longer. So the processing time for bank transfers is usually about 5 to 10 business days. While the processing fees are a little bit lower on bank transfers, it's important to know that if you have a quickly approaching supplier payment due dates, you'll want to be sure you're selecting the correct option based on that time frame. Now you can choose to charge your client the convenience fee to cover the processing fees, so you always get the amount that you're expecting on your end. On direct payment invoices only, you can allow for custom payments. And if this is just your planning fee, you can actually bypass the trip funds feature and have that amount sent directly to your bank account in 2 business days. Again, that is only if this invoice is for your planning fee and no other travel-related expenses. We can choose the client that this invoice is related to, the confirmation page, that thank you message that appears, confirmation email. So again, we can have this triggered once our client completes their payment. choose your terms and conditions, and of course, offer paid travel insurance. And just a heads up, I'm seeing a few questions in the chat. Please be sure to add your questions to the questions tab just below the chat. That way we can get an answer for you before the end of today's webinar. Alrighty. So once we have these settings all updated, we can use that blue next button and we can save review and send this email to Jane. But just to save a little bit of time, I'm just going to save this invoice in place and take us right to the link. So it'll take us back to our trip files tab. I can find that invoice link just by using that three-dot menu. Click on it, and this is the exact same invoice your client would see if they were clicking on that link from their email. Now, if we scroll on down, same kind of experience. They're going to see the line item. However, that convenience fee, since we added it, will also be visible on their invoice as well. They'll add in their credit card details or bank details if you are offering a bank transfer as well. And then by paying, they're agreeing to your terms and conditions that they can see here. Their payment schedule will be down here at the bottom, and that is the full direct invoice experience. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a fake credit card that will work for a direct payment, but I can show you what happens next. So once your client completes that payment, it's going to flow into that trip funds balance, which you can find on the trip itself here. You'll be able to see a ledger of all funds going in and out of the trip funds balance. And once you have an amount in here, it'll show how much you have. And you can choose to pay your supplier using a virtual credit card for a single transaction, or a wire if you need to wire your supplier. Or you can start the withdrawal of your markup within 2 business days. So typically that's what it takes. It's 2 business days to get to your business account. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about trip funds and group funds, I'm going to post a little guide in the chat. So that way you have it for your records. Perfect. And just so you know, because this is a recorded session, you will receive a recording by email about 5 minutes after we conclude. And then you will also have access to this chat and the questions tab too in that same link. So you'll have access to all of these things. Awesome. Okay. And I think I figured out what my ghost is. It's a little piece of lint right next to my camera. So don't worry, my apartment is not haunted. It was just a little piece of lint that was just on my camera. So we like to have fun here. Kind of wish it was just a spooky ghost, but you know, that's okay. All right, folks. So we have made it through the meat of our webinar, which is going to be, you know, going over creating that trip, creating a smart proposal, groups and group booking pages, as well as those invoicing options. Next, I'm going to dive into our Help Center and the resources we've created for you as you learn to use TravelJoy and continue to learn to use TravelJoy, as well as how to get in touch with us and that promo code. Please do not worry, I have not forgotten. So to get to our Help Center, we have a couple of options. Our Help Center button down here on the left-hand side is going to get you right to that link. And I'll also post this URL in the chat so that you have it. All right, so we have hundreds of guides created to help you learn the features of TravelJoy. We have them broken up in groups down here, getting started, using TravelJoy, and account management. Each of these little categories will have many guides to walk you through the features that correlate with that category. You can also use our search bar to search things like task lists and find any guides or related community forum articles about this. So we do have a community forum that I'll point out in just a few moments where you can talk with other advisors, and we like to hang out there as well and answer questions for you. It's a great brainstorming place. Definitely recommend checking it out. My request tab, if you have reached out to the TravelJoy Joymaker team, which is what we call our customer support team, you can check on any of your requests to us using the My Request tab. So let's say you haven't received a response from us and you've sent us a message about 5 days ago. That's not quite normal. We usually are a little quicker than that. We typically get you a response within the same day, if not the next business day. So highly recommend checking out the My Request tab if you're waiting on an answer from us, just to make sure that we didn't respond and maybe your email sent it to spam. You can also use this to look at any of your past requests. So if you want to be reminded how to do something and we went over it with you last year, you can go ahead and select the My Request tab to view those support tickets. You can schedule a phone call with a Joymaker. I will let you know right now, we are traveling next week and we're ramping up for that. So phone call support is not going to be available for a couple of weeks, but you can still take a look at that schedule as we get closer to that time frame to schedule a call if needed. There's that community link. So if you do want to check out our forum, that'd be the best way. And to submit an email support request, you can use the submit a request link here, and you are welcome to send us an email as well. If you'd like to send us a direct email, our email address is hello@traveljoy.com, which I will go ahead and add to the chat. So that way you can take a peek at that and save it in your address book. Pro tip there, please be sure to reach out to us using the email associated with your TravelJoy account. That helps us dive into things a lot quicker, and we don't have to verify your ownership of the account, which can take a little bit of time. Another live support option that we do typically offer is going to be our live chat. Now, again, because we are ramping up to travel as a team, we don't have live chat available until I believe it is the 18th, if I am correct, but just keep an eye out. That live chat feature will re-enable once we have it up and running. This little button, if you click on it, this is TJ Bot. He is still going to be here to help you and assist you with all of your immediate needs. He is pretty smart, so I highly recommend typing out your entire question to him. And if he can answer it, he will provide you with the details of that. And if not, he can go ahead and transfer your request as an email to our team. So again, if you need a more immediate response, TJ Bot is a great resource. We highly recommend kind of working with him and seeing if he's able to answer your questions. And if not, that's okay. We all understand there are some questions that our bots can't answer. Thankfully, that's why we're still here, right? But please feel free to utilize this. And if he can't answer it, he'll create an email to us. All right, for our promo code. As mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, this promo code is available to you for 50% off of your first 2 months of a monthly pro membership. Now, to apply this promo code, you need to head to your settings tab and membership. And this promo code can only be used if you are a brand new member to TravelJoy. We're going to head to this enter promo code link at the top of the screen. We're going to type in TJ Rocks 2025, and I'll post that in the chat so you have it. We'll save. And then if we switch this toggle over to monthly, we're going to see that savings. So typically our pro plan is $39 per month, and you're getting 50% off those first 2 months at $19.50 per month. Now, a little bit more bang for your buck would be to go ahead and use those first 2 months. And as those 2 months come to a close, head back to this tab, the membership tab, and you'll be able to upgrade to annual, which is going to be billed at $384 per year. But that breaks it down to $32 a month. So you're getting a little bit of savings there in the long run. So I highly recommend, if you like saving a little bit of money, go ahead and use that 2-month promo code, then upgrade to an annual membership just to save that little bit more throughout the year. Now, if you have just purchased a monthly pro membership in the last week and you're a brand new member of TravelJoy and you're thinking, Caitlin, wait, I didn't know there was going to be a promo code. Please do not worry. You can always reach out to us and we will assess the situation and see what we can do. Again, you can use the chat button to either submit an email to us, or you can go ahead and email us at hello@traveljoy.com. Awesome. I'm still seeing a few questions in the chat tab, so I highly recommend popping those into the questions tab. I see that all of our questions have been answered. Thank you so much to Lenore and Cody for monitoring the questions tab. And thank you all for bringing your amazing questions here today. We always love it. I'm going to just see if I can answer a couple of these questions in the chat tab. We don't typically do that, but I do see them here. If you are new to TravelJoy, how can I add a group that is already paid for in full, but I don't want to create an itinerary using TravelJoy? It's Carnival Conquest. Okay, so you would be manually creating a group using those same steps that I had mentioned previously. So you could use dashboard, create a group, and use that creation process. And then in the group itself, you would be manually adding these travelers using that plus sign. Then within each trip, you can create an invoice for them and mark the payments as paid in the payment schedule. So it's a little bit more manual, but you absolutely can do that still on TravelJoy. Leah asked, can 2 team members be on the same accounts? I'll go ahead and answer that from our questions tab. So 2 team members are recommended to use our team function. So we do have a team set up in TravelJoy where you can have a team owner account and then add team members or assistants depending on what they need as far as their account is concerned. Team members have access to full dashboards, whereas assistants would just be acting on behalf of the team owner and doing admin work. For security reasons, we recommend each person have their own account, whether that be their team owner account or their team member account. But the good news is you can allow access to team members to access others' accounts. So if you work on the same trips together, but you need two separate dashboards, a team member account would probably be the best option for you. Awesome. All righty. Well, it looks like we have all of our questions answered and we are right on time. So thank you everyone for being here today and spending your Wednesday afternoon with us. We really appreciate it. Next week, we will not be having TravelJoy 101 or our regular office hours because we will be traveling again as a team, but we do look forward to seeing you the week after at these regularly scheduled webinars. I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, evening, wherever you may be in the world, and please feel free to join us again sometime. We'd love to have you. Bye-bye.